There's no problem in questioning things. That's how you learn. That's how you solidify your belief.
In order for us to feel more included, we need to be there for each other, to really just, have a good conversation.
I think more people than not are willing to learn. We also have to be open to teach.
Islam has shaped my identity. Being born Muslim, it was always something that, on questionnaires or in school or anytime, how do you identify, it was always Muslim. But I think as I got older and I started interacting with more people of other religions, it made me realize how proud I am to be Muslim. Because, Islam is the religion of peace. And although, unfortunately, in the media today, there's a lot of negative things that they show about Islam which aren't necessarily true, that I've never been ashamed to say, I am Muslim. People ask me all the time, what religion are you? And I'll be the only Muslim in a group, but I'm proud to say that I am a Muslim.
I know I would be lying if I say that I've never questioned it. I have in my own way. Maybe I was too scared at one point when I was back home in Kashmir to actually question something that I didn't like. Because there was a lot of pressure around you, and you're not, in the traditional way, you're not supposed to question anything. But guess what? When I read Quran, when I got to understand more of what spirituality means, what our scripture actually tells us, it tells us to seek knowledge. It tells us to question things, be the basic questions. Because at the end of the day, when you read something, you have to implement it.
I remember growing up and going to masjid and specifically having an uncle tell me that whenever I enter into whatever profession, that I'm not just a lawyer, I am a Muslim American lawyer. And I think that always stuck out to me because it's so integrated. I think Islam is a way of life. It's not just, a lot of times I feel like people isolate religion or their faith into one compartment of their life. But with Islam, you're practicing it every day and every moment of your day.
I would say the hardest part of being a Muslim American is so much more trying to wade through the animosity and division within our own people than it is to deal with others. Because I was very fortunate to have gone to a university that is extremely diverse, but those diverse people weren't just tolerant of me, they were inclusive of me. So a lot of my friends who were non-Muslim were very inclusive and respectful of my practices. But I was more so peeping over my shoulder to be weary of the judgment of others who share my religion than I was to any of the judgment that was coming outside of my religion.
I have struggled with my identity as a Muslim American or American Muslim. I think the part that I have struggled with is when other people assume my identity or what my identity means for me. I think it's more about microaggressions that I get, oh wow, your English is so good, and it's why do I have to explain where I was born, or why my English is so good, and if it wasn't, what is that supposed to mean, or that I'm assumed to be a refugee, or when people ask where are you really from, what am I supposed to say? I'm from here, I have a heritage, my parents are from Pakistan, but I feel you're not really, for the experiences that I've had is that you're not really accepted to be here, even though America was really built upon so many religions and so many people, a lot of the slaves were Muslim, and so I feel there's a lot of work to be done in terms of recognizing that, and we're getting closer to that, but I think that's my struggle that I've had.
I think the hardest thing about being a young Muslim is all of the stereotypes and the stigma that comes along with being a Muslim in today's society. Really the thing that kicked off the chain of events was 9/11, and I was really young at the time, but I remember hearing, even from adults, at that time I didn't really realize everything that was happening, but from adults hearing, snarky comments about Muslims. And then after that, the random checks they began doing at the airports. And the hardest thing is being singled out. Because in a world today where you have cyberbullying, and you have kids getting bullied in school, and you have suicide rates going through the roof, the hardest thing about being a young Muslim is actually telling people that you are a Muslim, no matter how proud you are about it, because even though you might be proud and you know that what Islam is and how peaceful of a religion it is, the person you're speaking to might not know that. And they might be so blinded by that vision that even when you try to explain it to them, they twist it.
So we as young Muslims can help each other be more inclusive by really just being welcoming with one another and just having conversations and having good energy with one another and making each other feel like we can come to each other and just talk. I think that like as we get older, we're going to be growing up, and then we're going to be the elders of our community, and so we're going to be faced with a lot of challenges, and for the next generation we're going to have to take this responsibility of how we interact with each other. And I think there's a lot of patterns of behavior in which we need to change in this culture of being judgmental or not being able to come to the masjid because somebody feels like somebody's going to tell them about something negative about what they're wearing or how Muslim they are.
Like, there's no such thing as being not too good of a like you're not a good enough Muslim. Like, that's not a thing. I think people have just like created that, like, because like that's not a thing. Like every person who's Muslim is a good person, you know. I think it's just like personally when you go through something or when you act a certain way, like that's when you feel like you're not good enough. But it's just really just trying to be the best Muslim you can be.
You know, despite the fact that you're struggling, you don't want to use that as a means to distance yourself from your religion, distance yourself from judgment, distance yourself from those who could help you lay a better foundation, right? Don't miss that opportunity, and don't, I guess, unintentionally use your current struggle as a way to wedge you in Islam. I feel like that's like that is literally shaitan's manifestation in your life.
Definitely ask yourself the questions of why do I feel disconnected, why do I feel, whether it's I feel left out or I feel like I don't know where this faith is taking me. Ask yourself those questions, see if you can answer them. If you can't, ask your parents, ask your family members, ask your community members at the masjid, outside of the masjid. Your imam is, of course, a great option. I mean, you'll be surprised to find like these simple things that you can do to really, you can really fix your problems if you just, open up and talk to people, and just know that many of us are not trying to judge others. We're having the same problems. So when someone else comes with that problem, then it really helps both of you.
RUH platform in particular is really important because we need to be able to have conversations. We need to be able to talk about the struggles that we're facing, how to uplift each other, and how to combat some of the, again, judgments and rejection of certain ideas. I think that, again, having conversations, having open dialogue is extremely important to understanding yourself, is in understanding our communities and how we can move forward in the best way possible.
It's really, really, really important, I think, especially for our youngsters, the next generation, for us, for myself, for everyone around me, because like I said, like by reading those questions, this platform that you guys have, it really got me thinking of who I really am and what spirituality is, because I never got a chance to think about all these things before until I read those questions. So I think this is amazing opportunity for us generation to kind of get to know who you really all are.
Every Muslim, they get to talk about themselves, and then you get to watch videos of other Muslims, and then you get to realize that I'm not alone in all this. Like, I have someone who I can relate to, and I think that's good, because more people can talk about whatever they want to talk about, and some people might actually find help from these videos, and I think this is a really good idea.
It's important because people are informed about their core, about the core of their very living. I'm sure maybe they have so much to say about their spirits, or they they don't really know who to talk to, but platforms like let them really speak about their own experiences.
So RUH Platform is a platform that is a community platform, and it's meant for the Muslim community, but also it is also meant for other ethnic communities as well, to kind of talk about their identity and what it means for them and their experiences. And it is really about a variety of topics. Our first project is about the Muslim experience in America, and I really wanted to focus on that because I feel like we have a lot of great platforms, and there's been a lot of videos about Muslim experiences and Islamophobia, but I feel like there hasn't been enough conversation about spirituality in itself. And I think that's just because of the time we're living in, and we're living in a world in which we feel disconnected from ourselves and isolated or anxious because of technology and social media and all these things, and sometimes we can forget to just pause and take a moment and breathe and reflect. And so I wanted to create a video about different spiritual experiences that Muslims have that are from different ages and backgrounds, so that other people can kind of see that and see, oh, I can relate to this, or maybe get inspired by it. And I thought that was really important to voice and address. Creating a film was a decision that I made because I think we live in a time where in a digital world, and I think that's just one fast way to just get to people and reach out and connect with other people from all around the world.